Welcome to the next segment of the Art of Women Tampa Bay Art Chat. And I have with me today Dr. Brandy Stark. And I am excited that she's able to join us today for this exciting segment. I started these under my company, Renee Warmack Productions, because we can't do live events right now. And I had produced 3 The Art of Women events over the last several years. And unfortunately, I've had to stop due to the COVID pandemic. So this is a way we can reach out, connect, and go and grow and talk about our art. And I can share with you these wonderful, diverse women in the Tampa Bay area under the Art Chat show here that we have. And I want to welcome Dr. Stark, and she goes by Brandy. I know when I met her, I didn't even know she was a PhD. She's humble that way. Welcome. I'm going to introduce you. So, Brandy Stark moved to St. Petersburg, Florida in 1992. As an undergraduate at the University of Tampa, she took a course in sculpture, and she discovered her wire wrapping abilities. Utilizing welding rods, she made 3 wrapped wire figures, a triton, a dragon, and a centaur. These constituted the first generation of her Metal Myths series, established in 1995. Brandy also has a PhD from Barry University in leadership and education. And I'm going to let you tell us, Brandy, where you, one of your part-time gigs that you have going on as an adjunct, in addition to all that you're doing. I know you're also an author and you do ghost tours. So you've got a lot going on, like many of us, hustling and grinding, just doing your thing. And I'm very pleased to have you. And I was pleased to have you in one of my live The Art of Women events several years ago. So tell me a little bit about what you got going on right now, and then we're going to dig into your art.
Absolutely. So I actually was full-time faculty for about 20 years at St. Pete College, but it was kind of time for a change. And so I resigned and started working on art, and then we have a pandemic. So I missed teaching, and I ended up going back as an adjunct because I got to eat too. So I'm at Daytona State College online, Florida State College, Jacksonville online, and then I teach face-to-face classes at State College, Florida, Bradenton.
That's awesome, Bradenton. So wow, 3 different adjunct positions. That's fascinating. You're really you're hustling, and I see you online, and let's just dig right into the creative part that I know most. I know that when I had you as a featured artist at one of the Art of Women events I produced, I was so impressed with your wire bending and your mermaids. I'm a big fan of mermaids, being a Tampa and Florida girl native. I'm going to just see if you can see this. I've actually purchased this from you a few years ago. She's wonderful. Talk to me about your wire bending and how you do it and what you use, and anything you want to share about the creative for creatives out there that may be interested in this aspect of art.
Well, and I love your show because it was one of the very few where I actually brought my life-size mermaid. So her name is the Mermaid Queen, and I had to pack her in the Miata and drive across the Howard Franklin with her. that was interesting. We got there, we got home.
You did.
And it's one of, I think, 5 locations that she's been, so that was really neat. But I actually started off as an undergraduate, and I was taking a sculpture course because I was doing a history degree at that point, and I thought I wanted something to counterbalance that. And it turns out that clay was kind of tedious for me, and we did wood projects, and we did cloth, and then kind of at the end they said you can do anything you want. And I wanted to look into welding, and so we got to the welding supplies, and the professor said, all you have to do is turn this on, you get a flame, but oh, by the way, don't do this, or else you'll blow up the building. I'm like, oh my gosh, now that you've told me that, it's totally going to happen. And so he said, okay, instead of doing this, why don't you bend the wire? And he said, the basic shape of the human torso is a triangle. See what you can do with it. And this was, it was a 1/4 inch thick, corrupted aluminum welding rods, and they were so hard to bend. I had to have these big old pliers. But I really enjoyed it. I was shocked. I always wanted to be an author when I was a kid, but here I am, doing the arts. 2 years later, these pieces had kind of sat on my porch, and I was invited to do a show at a place called Tweeters in Gulfport. I had at that point probably 7 or 8 works. I hadn't made a lot of them. But the day the show opened, I got a call, and the owner said, "Oh yeah, they're all sold." And I went, "What?"
Wow. What a great phone call. And Gulfport's wonderful. What a great little art community. And for those that don't know, in Pinellas County, that is just fantastic. So that was your first show. What year was that?
1997. And I've been a showing artist ever since. So I've loved them. The bending, it's kind of, you got to have strong hands. What I always love is folks who say, "Oh, you can just do that with wire hangers." And I'm like, go ahead, see what you can do. But I have, over the years, learned texture, color. I've started painting the wire. So I have alcohol ink, and they've really expanded. I have one here that's got a little bit of the blue.
And then my heart on the one here has red on it.
Yeah, hand painted.
And it really adds that nice touch to it. And
you can bling.
Yeah, and theme it to whatever you want.
Absolutely.
So that's an alcohol paint?
Alcohol ink.
Alcohol ink.
Alcohol ink, it's called, if folks are like, "Do you drink it?" No. It's actually an ink that you can dilute with alcohol.
Okay.
And before this phone call, I had it all over my hands because I've been working on pieces, so I'm grateful that it's off. But there are times where I'll go into work and it looks like I killed somebody because I have all this red alcohol ink on my hands. No, it's just art. It's just art. I promise.
Well, I loved at the show, and when I post this segment, I'll post pictures of the show, when you had the life-size mermaid there, and you were such a sport. You just we didn't know each other, and it was cool that you came. You set up a really, really awesome installation. You had your smaller pieces, and then you had the big feature mermaid that you talked about. What's her name again?
The Mermaid Queen.
The Mermaid Queen. Is she for sale?
Yes, for the right price. Yeah.
All right.
But she was actually built on an original piece that I had made that was a self-portrait. So over the years, it kind of rusted and fell apart. So I did nothing with it. It sat in the corner of a yard. And I finally decided I wanted to do something. And so I built her back up. And so I kind of call her my daughter.
She's like part of the family. Yeah. And I had this visual. I wish we could have recorded you driving across the bridge from Pinellas with the Miata top down coming to the show. I remember that day. I had never met you, and I'm like, oh my God, this woman, I hope she can make it. And this is such a beautiful piece. And I didn't know what it was going to turn out to be, but you're like, I'm not sure if it can make it over the bridge. And she did. And it was wonderful. It was great to have you there.
I just prayed that there were no police officers. I hate to have to explain. I've got this giant wire mermaid. Well, but it's fine.
Yeah. So talk to me. So you've got that, and I know some of your other creative areas. Like you do write, and I know you have. Again, I'm so fascinated by the diversity of the women that I've met since I started doing the Art of Women shows that have so many different aspects of their work. Not just, gig, you also do the teaching, but it's like you also do ghost tours in Pinellas County. And I know with Halloween coming up, just touch on that briefly. You do that. And then I know you write as well. Do you have a book out on that?
Yes, I have 2. So in 1997, I also founded the Spirits of St. Petersburg, which is a paranormal investigation group. And over the years, we added in a customizable tour right now because of COVID. So you can have 5 people or under 9. Sure. We go outside, we have one building we go in, so bring a mask. I did write two books on the lesser known haunts of essentially Pinellas County. And
nice, fascinating.
I love ghosts. They're great. Yeah, they're fun to study.
Cool. Well, good. So tell me, in terms of your crafts, what are some of the ways that you identified the materials that you use for your crafts, or any resources within that. I know, like for the wire and the paint, and there's different places people get things, and it's like sometimes I hear, you know, hey, there's these coupons, or I go here, and especially now with not wanting to get out and go shopping, online is even more famous. So talk a little bit, dig a little deeper on your craft of the wire first, and then I want to talk about your books and how what you did to make those happen.
Well, with the wire, it's interesting because you find it. I walk all over St. Pete. I also do some found objects in the sculpture.
Good.
I walk the pugs, which is the background noise here. But so you'd be surprised what kind of wire people, you know, throw out or is out there.
Yeah.
You can go to Ace, Home Depot, and Lowe's.
Okay.
There are welding supply shops like Air Liquid, now Valley National Gas, and then you have craft art wire. So Michael's, Joann's. And unfortunately, Amazon. I try to stay local, but I'm having some trouble finding some of the wire that I want. So you have to start doing internet searches.
Okay.
But you'd be surprised, you know.
So I love the fact that you look for sustainable. You know, so many people don't realize some of the components and pieces that you can make your art from is on the street or the side of the road or somewhere already, and why not love the planet and you know, repurpose things. And so that's really cool that you do the sustainable. So there's a craft grade, and then there's the stuff you get at Home Depot, and you use both depending on what size or
Yes, because I'm looking for not only the durability and bendability, but also different textures. So over the years, the wire's taken on a greater complexity, not only with color, but with visual texture as well as touch texture, if you will. So I try to kind of create visual contrast with different diameters of wire.
Gotcha.
Different
Okay.
types, different styles.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun, and it's neat to see what comes out.
Yeah.
You just never know.
And it doesn't look easy. I mean, I'm, you know, I just have this one mermaid piece, and it just fascinates me how you just turn it into something that really, you know, it just comes to life for me, you know, and it really speaks to me. Again, you know, wiki-watchy mermaids and all that in Florida. I just love that. So talk about your authorship and writing books, and just give me some of the nuts and bolts of, you know, so I wrote it and then I published it here, or I self-published it, or whatever that back end piece is that you did to make that happen for your 2 books.
Well, I've been lucky because I started off as a reporter, and then of course I have 3 master's degrees and the PhD, so there's a lot of writing there, and you learn how to write. Oh yeah, no more degrees, but I'm tired now.
I hear you.
I always loved ghost books, and I've read a ton of them, but even though there's some local ghost books, there's nothing to just focuses on like St. Pete. Yeah. And we have a really cool history here. So essentially it was doing a heck of a lot of research, trying to validate the stories, the history museum, et cetera, writing these out, editing, having friends read it, and then I did decide to self-publish these. So through Amazon KDP. And
wait, what is that? Amazon what?
KDP, so their Kindle publishing store.
Okay, talk about that more.
Actually, that is a really good service. The first time I used it was a little confusing. It's gotten more user-friendly, but they actually have kind of the software for you to put up a cover, to insert the inside of the book. They do have folks that look over the formatting. They make sure your pictures are high enough quality. And then basically it's a print on demand, which is great.
So a print on demand, but also it's an ebook through Kindle?
Yes. Yes, I mean, they do both of it.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. So Kindle KDP? KDP?
Yes. So
awesome.
KDP.
That's such a valuable nugget that you just gave. I know I'm working on a book, and at some point in the future, I'll publish it. That's okay.
Okay, so good. Okay. Yeah, my peanut gallery, I'm sorry about that in the background. Okay. They're protecting me, I was afraid. But KDP is a great resource. Plus, you really don't have to invest tons and tons of money up front. You're not at the whim of a publisher, and you have full creative control.
And you own the copyright, right? Yes. And do they take a percentage, or is it because you have a subscription with them? How do you sign up?
So you can actually order books kind of at a base price and then mark them up. So you can order a book that costs $2.50 and sell it for $5,
Okay.
and they will print them and
Okay.
ship them to you. Or if you sell through the Kindle, yes, they take a percentage.
Okay, through
but
the
every
Kindle.
now and again, it's so sweet because you get a little that says we sold a book and you're getting a royalty. And you're like, yay, all right.
Gotcha. All right, say that. That's okay. Say that last
One more
piece
time.
every once in a while. So they send you, you were saying that they send you royalties every once in a while, and
Yes.
you get a little surprise here and there with somebody who's bought, and
Yep, you get an email that says, hey, you sold a book and you're getting a little royalty, and they direct deposit. I mean, there's not even a check, nothing.
I love it.
It's like right in the, yay,
That's
right
great.
in there.
Yeah.
So I would love to try for a publisher. I think I'd like that experience, but for right now and for what I'm doing, I thought this would be the best way to go. Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. So tell me the years that you wrote those two books. You have two, and what years did you write those two books? And what are the names of each of them?
So we actually have one that it took me about 3 or 4 years to put together because I kind of was taking my time and still had a full-time job. It is, oh gosh, I've just completely blanked on my own title. The Legend and Haunts of Pinellas County. So,
okay.
So the first one was about 3 years ago when I finally put it together and finished it. The last one actually was about 2 years ago, and it only took me about a year to do.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's been very, very useful. Yeah.
Good. Well, we're gonna get on the home stretch here of wrapping up. I have a couple more areas. One is go ahead and tell me and share with our viewers what would be your maybe top couple nuggets of advice to artists who are out there that are passionate like you are, who are grinding it out, or people who have an idea and want to get started in any area of your journey that you'd like to give advice around.
I've been very fortunate because I have friends and family who really do support the arts. I do know people who don't have that. My parents never told me I was crazy. I had an experience in 2014 where I almost completely gave up on the art because I got this awful, awful review. And my friends talked me through it. They're like, you don't understand. Your personality changes when you don't do the art. You need to do it. So it's really, really important to have to find a support network, to find folks that understand. I think you need to stick by your guns. You need to understand you've got to be passionate. This thing has got to be a big part of your life because the art world is difficult. It is political. It is, up and down with the current pandemic. It's been just this emotional roller coaster that is so difficult some days. I get so upset because I had started making traction into building this into a full business, and then March hit, and it's just been kind of dead.
Yeah,
so,
no, I hear you. Those are great morsels, great
absolutely.
Pieces of advice. Surrounding yourself with people who support your journey, and it's cool that you even have people who say, "Hey, you're even more cool when you're doing your art. Keep doing your art."
That's it. It is important.
That's great. And then also, even if you get a bad review or you have one person who doesn't get what you're doing, keep grinding it. Move past that. Wonderful, wonderful. And my mantra, and that fits with the mantra of claim your power. I always wear this shirt, and I've got a coaching program, a Power Hack Playbook that I believe in. And so those fit really, really nicely with that. And I think that to be a warrior and to be out there, you really have to think about who you're around and be more thoughtful with who you're around. So tell me what places you hang out online.
Sure.
Give me your website. Give me whatever it is. What's the call to action so people can go find your books and your art and buy your stuff and just show you all kinds of love during this time.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, I actually do have an Etsy shop, which is Stark Images on Etsy.
Okay.
That's mostly the metalwork. I do have Amazon entries for the book, so you can go online, type in my name, and it should come up.
Okay.
You can find also additional links to the book and spirits merchandise at www.spiritsofstpete.com.
Okay.
The art site is bstarkart.com.
Okay.
I am on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok,
I love it.
Facebook. I'm on all of them. Twitter.
Yeah.
So both
I
the
see
spirits,
you. Yep.
Everywhere. Both
I
the
love it.
spirits and the art. And then I
love
do
it.
have a studio at Art Loft. So I'm Studio
Oh, where is
208.
Art Loft? Okay, where's Art Loft? Is that at the railroad tracks over there? Or where?
Close. It's in downtown. So
Okay.
it's off
St.
of
Pete.
5th. Yes, 5th and Central. So its technical address is 10 5th Street North in St.
Okay.
Petersburg.
Okay.
It is the second story to Florida Craft Art. So if people are more familiar with craft art.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I
And
didn't know that.
I know, nobody, but it's such a fantastic group of artists. So, we have Betsy Orb-Lester and Rebecca Skelton and her husband Joe, and just, we have this phenomenal group. These were people I used to write about when I was a reporter in the late 90s, and here I am with the studio, and it's incredible.
Where were you a reporter, just real quick? You mentioned being a reporter too. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You've done so much.
So years ago, I used to work with Marianne Marger of the St. Petersburg Times, and then I wrote for Bayside News. I still do a little bit of writing for Northeast Journal.
Okay.
But I was actually an arts correspondent for about 4 years at the St. Pete Times. It was great.
And, speaking of writing and promotions and exposure, one of the reasons I started The Art of Women is I was frustrated that I did feel like it was very political, and I did feel like there were people I was seeing, and I had a hunch there were more out there in the woodwork that, sometimes we're not good at bragging about ourselves and getting it out there. And there's so many amazing, creative, diverse women in the Tampa Bay area. So that was, it really speaks to me that you feel that way and you get that, and you're one of the established artists in the community, and you're able to sit back and say, I know it's political, and, we're all grinding it out there. So, yeah, we gotta get a press release together and get you out there and get some more exposure for Halloween. Halloween's coming up. Let's go.
Right.
I mean,
come on. Absolutely.
Yeah. We get you on TV, and then kind of promote a little bit of everything. And I love to encourage all the artists that I work with, and you're good, with the content. You're out there grinding it with the content. And so if people don't know you're out there and you don't have the courage to stand up behind your art and speak and get up there. Sometimes it's hard to do Facebook Lives, or you can just record and put it out there, but you're posting and everything. You do keep showing up, and I commend you for that and for everything that you've done. Keep crushing it. Keep claiming your power. And I look forward to hopefully when we get back out there with live shows again, including you again. So thank you.
And I will invite you up to Art Loft.
I would love to see Art Loft. I actually was over in St. Pete the other day and did a kind of like a self-made art tour and kind of hit the Moraine, the Western one, the James. Oh my gosh. And the one that's over on the railroad tracks, the one that's
the Clay Center.
The Clay Center. And so I didn't know about the one you're saying. So we'll be sure to get that website as well when we do the post.
Or just Google Art Loft.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it in the notes for the show here too when we post. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Any final words?
This was fun.
Good.
For artists out there, just exactly as you said, believe in your art, keep trying, don't let anybody tell you not to. Do your thing and stay positive. Just be positive, be a good example.
And I'm going to have to give a shout out to your other little furry family members down there. If you heard some rumbling during this interview, they are, and I see them online all the time, and Brandy talking about them. How many pug doggies do you have? And they're behaving right now underneath your feet. And we're gonna end the interview and wrap it up. But go ahead and tell me before they wake up and start barking again.
Yeah, we're almost to that limit. I have 5 pugs and a puggle. and they're my constant companions. They come with me to the studio one at a time, but they are also very picky when they realize I'm not paying full attention to them and I'm talking to someone. So it's like having a group of 4-year-olds. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, they behaved, and we're glad to have you. And so thank you for being on the Art of Women Tampa Bay Art Chat.
Thank you.
And I'll be in touch.
And I look forward to seeing future episodes.
Great. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.